Year 2000. You turn on your computer, the modem screeches for 30 seconds, and in front of you a world opens up. Yahoo to search for information, GeoCities to create your personal page, AIM to chat with friends, Napster to download music, forums everywhere to discuss anything. Every click was a discovery. Every country had its own internet. Today, 85% of global traffic goes through Google, Facebook, YouTube, 3 companies, 3 platforms. This is the story of what we lost, and how the internet went from a wild archipelago to a shopping mall. In 2000, when you opened your browser, Google was not there. There was your homepage. If you were American, it was probably Yahoo or AOL. If you were Italian, Virgilio or Libero. If you were French, Voila or Wanadoo. If you were German, Webday or T-Online. Every portal was a universe. Inside there was everything. Search, email, chat, news, horoscopes, games, weather, sports. It was your starting point, your compass to navigate the web. It was organized by categories like the Yellow Pages. You didn't search, you explored. You'd click on music, then rock, then alternative bands, and maybe you'd discover a Pearl Jam fan site made by some kid in Seattle with passion. It was slow, it was amateur, but it was authentic. There wasn't one internet. There were thousands, each with its own language, smell, rhythm, and imagination. The search engines existed. Alta Vista, Lycos, Excite, Ask Jeeves. They worked, but the results were chaotic. You'd search for chocolate chip cookie recipe and you'd find a bakery website in Portland with 3 grainy photos, a GeoCities page with someone's grandmother's recipes, a forum where people were arguing about whether you needed more butter or more sugar. It was imprecise, but it was also real. No SEO specialists optimizing content. No algorithms deciding what you deserve to see. Just people putting their stuff online. And you found it. Maybe after 20 minutes, but you found it. And then there were the communities. This is the key. The internet wasn't made for us. It was made by us. GeoCities. 38 million personal pages, pop-ups everywhere, flame GIFs, yellow text on impossible-to-read black backgrounds, MIDI music on autoplay, visitor counters showing 47 visitors. But nobody complained. It was home. Anyone could publish, without an algorithm deciding if your content deserved visibility, without moderation, without personalized ads, LiveJournal, Blogger. A blog was yours. You'd customize it by copying HTML code from other blogs. You'd leave long comments. You'd add friends. You'd create a network. It was slow, it broke often, but it was real. AIM, ICQ, Yahoo Messenger. Chat rooms where you talked with friends, with strangers, with people from across the country. Maybe you'd organize meetups. Maybe a real friendship would form. Maybe a love story. No algorithm suggesting who to talk to. And the forums. There was one for everything. Cars, cooking, philosophy, video games. 50 different forums just for games. And every forum had its characters, its unwritten rules, its epic flame wars that lasted months. The moderator who knew everything, the newbie asking stupid questions, the troll always angry. But they were real people. You weren't told who to connect with based on your behavior. You searched, you explored. And when you found your corner of the internet, that forum, that community, that blog, it was magic, because it was yours. It was a mess, but a beautiful mess. And then there was the Wild West of content. Napster, Kazaa, LimeWire. You downloaded music, illegally, sure, but it was also the only way to discover indie bands nobody was talking about. No Spotify suggesting similar artists. Just a file called Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit.mp3 that you download for 3 hours, and that turned out to be a Russian advertisement. Or it actually was Nirvana, but recorded from FM radio with the DJ talking over it. Flash games, Newgrounds, Miniclip, addicting games. Games made by teenagers in garages. Some were masterpieces, others sucked. But you could try everything for free, without microtransactions. Personal websites. Hi, I'm Mike, I'm 14, I live in Ohio, here are my poems. No likes, no engagement rate, just the counter, 47 visits. And you felt like a god. Here's what mattered most. The internet was local. In the United States, 75% of traffic went through Yahoo, AOL, MSN. In Italy, 85% through Virgilio, Libero, Tiscali. In France, 60% on Voila and Wanadoo. In Germany, Web.de and T-Online dominated. In Japan, Yahoo Japan was and still is an unbeatable giant. Every country had its giants, its services, its language, its rules. American data stayed on American servers, Italian data on Italian servers, French data in France. The companies managing these portals were national. They paid local taxes, they hired local people. There wasn't one global internet controlled by 3 Silicon Valley companies. There were many internets that intertwined, knew each other, but remained distinct. In 2000, the United States alone controlled 45% of global traffic. Europe, with all its national portals, had another 30%. The rest of the world divided the remaining 25%. There were about 17 million websites, and 90% of them were personal or small business pages. It was chaotic. It was slow. Pages took 20 seconds to load on your 56K modem, but it was varied, it was open, it was distributed. Then Google arrived. "1998. Google is born. When Google arrived, it felt like fresh air. We didn't realize it was central air conditioning, filtering, cooling, and sterilizing everything that entered our digital lungs. At first it seems harmless, just a search engine. No flashing banner ads like on Yahoo. No categories, no portal, just a white bar and a button, search. But behind that simplicity is PageRank, an algorithm that ranks results based on the links they receive. And it works. God, does it work. In 1998, Google indexed 26 million pages. By 2003, 3 billion. The scale was unprecedented. In 2002, you try searching for something on Yahoo. It gives you a vague list mixed with sponsored links. Then you try Google, and the difference is embarrassing. Google finds exactly what you were looking for. First result, always. And this is where everything changes. No more directories curated by hand by humans, but an engine that learns on its own, from a web built by people to a web interpreted by machines. Collective intelligence replaced by the algorithm. At first you use both. You keep opening Yahoo, but when you can't find something, you go to Google. Then slowly Google becomes your first choice, and you only open Yahoo. Out of habit, and from there slowly the end begins. 2004. Google launches Gmail. 1 gigabyte of free storage. Hotmail gave you 2 megabytes. Yahoo Mail 10, 500 times more space. Game over. Everyone migrates to Gmail. 2005, Google buys YouTube for $1.65 billion. Until then, videos were scattered across 1,000 sites. YouTube centralizes everything. It becomes the place for video. Today it streams over 1 billion hours per day, and Google owns it. 2005, Google Maps. Goodbye MapQuest, Yahoo Maps, all existing map services. Google Maps is free, fast, works better. Done. 2008, Google launches Chrome, a browser with one mission, to take you straight to Google. The address bar is also the search bar. And guess which engine it uses? 2009, Android. Google enters your phone, the most widespread mobile operating system in the world, with Google Search preset. In 10 years, Google becomes search engine, email, video, maps, browser, operating system. It's no longer a service, it's an ecosystem. You enter one part and get sucked into all the others. And here the network effect trap springs. More people use Google, more data collected, better algorithm, more people use it. A self-feeding cycle. National portals can't compete. Yahoo has mainly American data. Virgilio has Italian data. Voila has French data. Google has data from the entire world. Billions of searches, in all languages, from all countries. In 2007, Google has 60% of the global search market. In 2010, 75%. By 2012, Chrome overtakes Internet Explorer. Total dominance. Today, 85%. And the portals? Yahoo sold to Verizon in 2017 for $4.5 billion, a fraction of its peak value. AOL, the same. AltaVista closes in 2013. Lycos, Excite, Ask Jeeves, all gone are zombies. Virgilio in Italy sold, resold, merged. Voila in France disappears. Web.de in Germany barely survives. The archipelago is emptying out, and Google has become a continent. 2004. Facebook is born at Harvard. 2006, it opens to everyone, and suddenly everything changes again. You no longer need a personal website. There's the Facebook profile. No more GeoCities, LiveJournal, building your own space. Just fill out a form, put up a photo, done. You no longer need forums. There are Facebook groups. Want to talk about cars? There's a group. Cooking? Another group. Philosophy? Group. It's all there. Convenient. Centralized. You no longer need blogs. There's the timeline. Write a thought, post a photo, share a link. Done. Even emails become obsolete. Don't email me, message me on Facebook. MySpace dies within 3 years. It was the social network in 2006. By 2009, it's finished. LiveJournal empties out. In 2009, Yahoo shuts down GeoCities. 38 million personal pages deleted forever. An immense cultural loss. Blogger barely survives. Between 2007 and 2012, forum activity drops by 80% on most platforms. Communities migrate to Facebook. Forums empty. Blogs become Facebook pages. And here, too, the network effect kicks in. More people on Facebook means you're forced to be there, too. Because that's where everyone is. The photos, the events, the birthdays, the discussions. If you're not on Facebook, you're invisible. And while all this was happening, governments watched. While the United States invested billions in Silicon Valley, European governments let their portals die. No digital policy, no protection, no public investment. The market decided, and the market chose California. And so the web stopped being a collective experiment. It became a product. By 2012, Facebook reaches 1 billion users, 1 in 7 humans on Earth. In 2010, Google and Facebook together control 70% of global internet traffic. All national portals combined, less than 1%. Yahoo, AOL, Virgilio Libero, Voila, WebDE, all together don't reach 1% of global traffic. The archipelago has disappeared. Only 2 giant islands remain, Google and Facebook, and then Amazon for e-commerce. 3 companies. 3. Today, the internet is convenient, fast, efficient, but it's also controlled by 3 companies. Google in Mountain View, Facebook in Menlo Park, Amazon in Seattle. In 2000, if you were American, your internet traffic stayed in the United States. If you were Italian, it stayed in Italy. Yahoo's servers were in California, Virgilio's in Milan. Data stayed where it was generated. Companies paid taxes in their country. They hired local developers. Today, every search, every video, every message goes through Silicon Valley. Data from the entire world ends up on Google, Facebook, Amazon servers. Over 60% of web traffic passes through Cloudflare, AWS, and Google Cloud. 3 companies mediate most of our connections. These companies capture around 80% of global online advertising revenue. Meta and Google pay effective tax rates under 10% in most EU countries, exploiting tax havens like Ireland and Luxembourg. In Europe, they pay ridiculous taxes. In Asia, they hire a few hundred people to cover billions of users. The internet has become homogenized. The web stopped speaking with accents. It started speaking in one global, Californian voice. Google's algorithms promote the same types of content worldwide. YouTube suggests the same trending videos to millions. Facebook shows you what the algorithm thinks you'll like. You no longer choose what to explore. It's served to you. From digital neighborhoods to an algorithmic metropolis, from handmade sites to corporate templates. And it's opaque. You don't know why you see one result rather than another. You don't know why Facebook shows you that post. You don't know what data is collected, how it's used, who it's sold to, and it's surveilled. Every click tracked, every search recorded, every video you watch, every page you visit, every product you buy, everything analyzed to build a profile of you, to sell you advertising, to influence what you see. In 2000, nobody knew what you'd searched for on Yahoo. Today, Google knows everything about you, more than you remember about yourself. Behind every GIF, every broken link, every blinking cursor, there was a person. Today, behind every post, there's a metric. We lost imperfection, and with it, the humanity of the web. There's only one exception: Japan. Yahoo Japan still controls 60% of the local market. Google never fully conquered Japan. Why? Language barrier, massive local investments, a culture that rewards companies adapting to the local market. Yahoo Japan kept investing, innovating, staying relevant. It added services Japanese people wanted. It understood the market. It's living proof that it could have been done differently, that it wasn't inevitable to end up under Google's monopoly. But it required will, investment, resistance to the temptation of immediate convenience. The rest of the world chose convenience, efficiency, and gave up variety. The old internet was slow, chaotic, imperfect. You'd wait 20 seconds for a page, you'd get blinking text and distorted MIDI songs, but you'd also get soul. It was human, hand-built, full of fingerprints. It was open, it was varied, it was ours. You could create a page without asking permission. You could say what you wanted without an algorithm deciding if you deserved visibility. You could find strange, bizarre, beautiful corners of the internet that no algorithm would ever suggest because they were too niche, too weird, too personal. Today, the internet is fast, clean, efficient, but it's no longer ours. We traded freedom for convenience, variety for efficiency, the archipelago for the shopping mall. But here's what matters. In 2024, over 40% of websites still run on open source software. Mastodon, PeerTube, and Gemini are small, but they prove a decentralized web is still alive. If you also remember that web, if you also lived through the era of portals, of AIM, of LiveJournal, of forums, of badly made GeoCities pages, leave a comment. Tell me about your corner of the internet. And if you want to resist, use DuckDuckGo instead of Google. Support Wikipedia. Create a personal blog, participate in independent forums, use open source software, host your own website. We can't rebuild the internet of 2000, but we can rebuild its spirit. One personal page, one open source project, one act of digital independence at a time. Because the internet can still change, but only if we remember how it was before, and if we still have the courage to make it ours again.